Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Two arrested in relation to double murder in Goshen, St. Elizabeth. The St. Elizabeth police have taken two people into custody in connection with last week's double murder in Goshen. Deputy Superintendent Coleridge Minto, acting head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, says arrangements are being made to question the suspects. On December 8, 46-year-old fisherman Trevor Morgan and his nephew 29-year-old Raji Hilgan were shot in a section of their home at Post Office Road, set ablaze alongside with a motor vehicle. Meanwhile, DSP Minto said two brothers were picked up on December 12 and 13 in Manchester in connection with a murder committed in St. Elizabeth earlier this year. He said the brothers are expected to be charged. The Deputy Superintendent was addressing the monthly meeting of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation on Thursday. Woman killed in Mandela crash identified. A woman killed in a multi-vehicle crash along the Mandela Highway in St. Catherine on Saturday has been identified. The deceased is 23-year-old Sadija Williams of Clarendon address. Police report that about 5:45 a.m., Williams was a passenger in a Mercedes-Benz SUV traveling on the highway heading to St. Catherine when the vehicle collided into the rear of a parked truck. As a result of the collision, the Benz careened and crashed into a Suzuki Vitara motor car that was traveling in the same direction. Williams suffered serious injuries and was pronounced dead at hospital. There were no more serious injuries, the police stated. Head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary Mackenzie, said investigations are ongoing to see whether the fatal crash was a result of dangerous driving. We gathered that the vehicle had just passed a speed checkpoint at 6 miles, and investigation is being carried out to ascertain properly whether or not there was a manner of driving that amounts to the driving and causing the death by dangerous driving or manslaughter. It is understood that Williams had earlier this week returned to the island from the United States, where she attended the University of South Florida. Alleged gang member among two killed in Brompton, St. Elizabeth. An alleged gang member was among two men who were shot and killed at a house in Cambridge District, Brompton, St. Elizabeth last evening. Dead is 50-year-old Donovan Bailey, who police say was on their radar, and his associate, Elvis McIntosh. Reports are that about 7:30 p.m., the men were at a house when they were pounced upon by armed men who shot them several times. Residents summoned the police, and on their arrival, Bailey and McIntosh were seen suffering from gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead at hospital. Meantime, head of the Constabulary's Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay told reporters that the murders are linked to an ongoing inter-gang conflict in the area.
Donovan Bailey, otherwise called Don, he is a member of the speculation gang and somebody who is well known to the police in St. Elizabeth and is linked to various criminal activities, murder, shooting, and was possibly to be part of persons who are involved in spiritual larceny. The other person is Elvis McIntosh, who is said to be an associate of Donovan Bailey. So they are now trying to investigate to find out who are the persons responsible. They suspect that their death is a part of the conflict that's currently happening in the parish, and it's an inter-gang conflict. It's a gang conflict that is happening within the speculation gang. It's one of the active gangs that have been creating problems in the St. Elizabeth parish in recent times.
Murder investigation underway in death of former PNP MP Jolene Silvera's wife. The police have confirmed that a murder investigation into the death of Melissa Silvera, the wife of former PNP Member of Parliament Jolene Silvera, has been launched. It was previously reported that Silvera died in her sleep on November 10. While speaking with reporters, Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Crime and Security Fitz Bailey confirmed that a murder investigation is ongoing. According to reports, the police upgraded their probe after Silvera's postmortem examination revealed that she was shot at least 3 times. It was also reported that Silvera's husband has retained the services of the King's Counsel, and he was interviewed by the scene of crime investigators. The Silveras tied the knot in December 2015. Tragically, in 2017, the Silvers experienced another heartbreaking loss when their 2-year-old son Justin drowned in a pool at their Stony Hill St. Andrew home. Opposition senator suggests that overwhelming force be used against breeder larcenies. Opposition Senator Lambert Brown is suggesting that overwhelming force be used against breeder larcenies as a means of ending criminal practice. This, as Senator Brown noted, that longer sentences for offenses will not end the practice. According to him, there are life sentences for murders, yet they are still committed. Senator Brown believes providing adequate security personnel to deter breeder larcenies is the answer. He called on his colleagues in the upper house to look beyond the extension of prison sentences if the fight against breeder larceny is to be won. Senator Brown also called for an update on the investigation surrounding the deaths of farmers this year. He said 13 farmers have been killed since the start of the year.
So murder is life imprisonment. And if I follow the government, it is 50 or 60 years before parole. But that hasn't stopped them from killing farmers. That hasn't stopped them from stealing the goats and the cows and the fish, even when you put crocodile in the ponds. It doesn't stop them. So we have to go beyond just longer sentence. We have to go to enforcement. And I was always impressed, Senator Hill, with the Colin Powell doctrine. And he's a Jamaican. Overwhelming force. Overwhelming force. The long sentence is not, while necessary, is not going to stop breeder larceny. What will stop it is when they go up to the mines district in St. Ann or Prospect or anywhere in Manchester, and they understand that there's sufficient security force nearby that will overwhelm them. So it's not there against the farmers, but the overwhelming presence of security force. And if we have to multiply that by having auxiliary security force, wardens, whatever, train them, arm them, but we must change the odds against the 2-foot posts. We must change the odds against the criminals. Long time we're fighting breeder larceny. I sat in the Senate with Norman Grant, former president of the JAS, and he has been on this issue over and over. I listened, Minister, to when the last amendments were made, I think 2004, 2005. That's almost 20 years ago. It has taken a long time for the measures to come. But I am concerned that the answer to our problems, whether crime or breeder larceny, is really enforcement and not just a longer sentence. So, President, 13 farmers murdered, and the sentence is life imprisonment for those. The question I'd like to ask the government, how many of those 13 cases have been cleared up?
Teen allegedly found with gun on St. Catherine's School compound. Charges are pending for a 17-year-old boy who was reportedly held with a pistol on the compound of a high school in St. Catherine on Friday. Reports from the Spanish Town Police show that about 8 p.m., a team of officers was on duty at the school where an event was in session. On the approach of the lawmen, the boy was observed acting in a manner that aroused their suspicion. He was accosted and searched, and one Beretta 9mm pistol was seen in the bag he had in his possession. He was subsequently arrested for possession of a prohibited weapon. Investigations are ongoing. NEPA issues notice of permit suspension to company in Harbour Head fish kill probe. The National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA has served German Ship Repair Jamaica Limited, the operators of Kingston Dry Dock, with a notice to suspend its environmental permit in connection with its probe into the fish kill in the Harbour Head area. Recently, thousands of dead fish washed up along the Harbour Head seashore. This left residents devastated, so too scores of fisherfolk who rely on the water for their livelihoods. On Wednesday, NEPA issued a statement indicating that it is conducting further investigations as an assessment determined that runoff into the water contributed to the proliferation of algae, thereby reducing oxygen level. The lack of oxygen in the water caused the fish to suffocate, NEPA stated. The agency indicated that it has taken action against the Kingston Dry Dock operators as it seeks to address the issue. It said the notice of suspension was issued as it found that the company is in non-compliance with 7 conditions of its environmental permit, which was granted in 2019. The company has until December 31 to become compliant. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell